Lord, my legs is cramping up, y'all. It was leg day at the gym. Ooh. Hey, y'all. Happy sunrise, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Ugh, that ring light glare in my glasses is so dumb. I saw a couple of YouTubers slash booktubers do a mid-year book tag type video, right? And I know I did one for the end of the year book tag, I believe is what it was called. So I figured, why not do the mid-year challenge as well, right? So that's what this particular video is going to be geared towards. I'm going to be wrapping up the best and the worst books that I've read so far in the mid-year mark. Let's get into it. Woo, ice cold, baby. I don't know about y'all, but the area that I live in, the humidity out here is outrageous, okay? So it's like I can't get enough water to drink at this point in time. So as y'all can see, I'm in a different type of background situation, right? I'm still in my office, but I have not completed my bookshelf yet. I don't have all the books up yet. And I promised y'all I was not going to sit in front of that bookshelf again until it got completed, okay? So I'm using y'all to keep me held accountable. Let's not waste no more time. Let's go ahead and get into these questions for this mid-year book tag challenge. So the very first question is, what is the best book you've read so far in the year 2024? All right, so I couldn't pick just one. I actually have a couple. I have about 3, maybe 4, okay? Don't fight me. The first book that I'm gonna go with is 1201 by Bella J. I'll make sure I put it over here so y'all can see, because I don't have the physical copy yet, but I do plan on getting the physical copy. I read this book in February, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and it was such a good time, y'all. It was a rom-com type of situation, enemies to lovers as well, and it did have a little bit of spice in it too. Without giving y'all the full rundown of what the book was about, basically, I can't remember their names. I don't remember the names in the book, y'all, but the main female character in this book was initially engaged to this one guy, and she found out on her wedding day that he was sleeping with his cousin. And I say cousin in quotations because they weren't really blood related. They just kind of grew up in the sandbox together, right? So she ends up calling off the wedding, and then her and her ex-fiance's twin brother end up in cahoots somehow. That's just the gist of the book. I don't want to give y'all everything, but the storyline was giving. It was a time. It was funny. It was spicy. It was messy, okay? And it was very, very entertaining. It's one of my favorite books so far this year. The second book that I'm going to go with, and y'all have heard me talk about this book a lot so far. I read the art for this book when it first came out, and then the author also sent me book 1 and 2. But the book that I'm talking about is the second book in the series, The Dragon's Keeper by M.L. Burns. I've talked about this book in a couple of my videos. This is a 4 or 5 book series. But right now, there are only 2 out. This one was definitely like my Roman Empire, one of my Roman empires. There was so much that went on in this book. There was a lot of healing in this book, okay? It's very trauma filled. This is a dark romantasy type of situation. It has a lot of trauma in here, but it's very healing. It's very healing. And I can't really explain to you what I mean by that unless you were to get into the series itself. But this book really did help heal different parts of me that I didn't really know needed healing, things that I thought that I may have already healed from or gotten over. This definitely helped with that. Like, this was just a storyline, in the way that the book flowed, I ate it up, okay? This was definitely one of my favorite books so far this year. Okay, the next 2 books I'm going to show you, y'all don't fight me, okay? Don't fight me. I don't want to hear no lip. I don't want to hear no negativity in the comments. You hear me, okay? None of it. Just zip it up. Zip it up. This particular series is definitely one of my favorites so far this year. And I say this year because I read it this year, okay? Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. If you don't like it, fight your mama, not me. The reason why I enjoyed these so much so much is because this was my introduction into the fantasy realm. Okay, I'm not a big fantasy genre girly. All right, I'm more of a dark romance type of girl. I love self-development, self-help type books, things of that nature. But this was my first time stepping foot in fantasy, and I popped my fantasy cherry with these. I did, and these literally live rent-free in my head every single day. I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't think about something that transpired in this series, and I genuinely cannot wait for the third book to drop next year. I don't understand why it got to take so long, but you know what? Whatever. Beggars can't be choosers. Ate these books down. Love them so much. Also, Roman Empire. Next question is new book releases that I haven't read yet, but I really want to. Okay, so the other book that I want to read is the second book to this one, which is Leather and Lark. Now, I haven't read this one yet either, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. And the only reason I haven't read it yet is because I was about to lie. I was actually supposed to read this in March. I had this as one of my March hopefuls on my TBR, and I didn't get around to it because I was getting packed and prepared for Reader's Take Denver. So I wasn't able to read it like I wanted to. So by the time I got back home, I remembered that Leather and Lark was supposed to come out fairly soon. So I said, you know what, I'm going to hold off for it to come out first, and then I'll read both of them collectively, okay? So I already have this one. I just need to get Leather and Lark so I can read that. And I'm probably going to listen to the audiobook and read it at the same time. One of my book talk besties told me to do that. And listening to the audiobook and reading at the same time is a little bit of a vibe. So I'm gonna get into these. The second one I do not have on hand yet, y'all. I thought I pre-ordered it before it came out, and I fear I did not. Either way it goes, this one is called Blood at the Root, and this is by Ladarian Williams, okay? This literally just came out last month, I believe. Yeah, it just came out last month, and I still need to get it. But it's basically like a Black Harry Potter. From what everybody is talking about, is giving Black Harry Potter, and love that, okay? I don't really know the whole storyline or the plot or anything like that, but I've been itching to get this book in my hands since I heard about it. It has been hyped up before it even released, okay? I've seen it all over TikTok. I've seen it all over Facebook. He did a great job promoting his book, and I really want to give it a go and support. So I can't wait to read this. This is also one of the books that I just really want to dive into, nosedive, before this year is out. The third question here is, what is my most anticipated book release for the second half of the year? Okay, y'all, I actually have three. I have three. The first one is Madness by Chantel Tessa. Y'all already know. You already know. If you've been following my content, whether it be on TikTok or on YouTube, you already know I am a Chantel Tessier stan. All right. So I gotta get into Madness. We still do not know which Carnage brother Madness is going to be about. My guess is, I don't know. I wanted to be Hayden. I wanted to be Hayden because he was my favorite. But I think because everybody is so hard down on Hayden, Chantel, being the little devil that she is probably going to hold off. And Hayden's book will probably be the very last book. But either way it goes, I can't wait for it to drop. I believe Madness drops in December, and it's not coming fast enough, y'all. Hopefully I get chosen to read the arc again, because I did get picked to read the arc for Carnage, the very first book. If you haven't seen that reading vlog, definitely go check it out, because I did one for that too. But hopefully I get to read Madness as an arc too. That would just be the icing on the cake for the whole year. Merry Christmas to me. The next one that I can't wait to come out is going to be Hexed by Emily McIntyre, okay? I believe this comes out either in, I can't remember. I think October, November, or December. I don't recall. However, I have the first 5. Ate all of these down, y'all. And I do also have a reading vlog for this one too. I read this last year sometime. I posted my reading blog on a separate YouTube channel, but I am going to bring it over to this one. For those that don't know, I merged both of my channels together. So reading vlog for the Never After series will be posted very, very soon. Okay, so that'll be up for y'all to see and laugh at all of my shenanigans, because I be doing a lot sometimes. But the last book of this series, Hexed, is getting ready to come out this year, and I cannot wait. I believe Hexed is going to be a retelling of The Little Mermaid, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to go. I think it's The Little Mermaid. Either it's The Little Mermaid. Yeah, it's The Little Mermaid. I thought I was about to say Aladdin, but Twisted was Aladdin. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, can't wait. Cannot wait, because I ate this whole entire series down. The third book that I'm waiting on is Five Brothers by Penelope Douglas, okay? I'm not entirely sure what this one is about, but I believe it is MM, and I believe it is spicy. The group that I'm in, they want to buddy read this book together, so I cannot wait for that. This book actually comes out in July, and I'm going in blind because they were adamant. They were adamant about me buddy reading with them because they just love to see my reactions and hear how I react when I be reading these damn books, y'all. So they were like, hey, we're buddy reading and you don't have a choice. You have to be a part of this. So I said, cool, whatever, I'll do it. So I'm going in blind so I can just give raw reactions, okay? I did pre-order this, so it should be here the day that it drops. We'll see. Can't wait to get into it. What book surprised me the most this year? I just talked about this book in one of my most recent wrap-ups. It's called Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Reed Jenkins, I believe is her last name. Yeah, by Taylor Reed Jenkins. So the reason why this book surprised me so much is because it was something, for one, it's a genre that I probably would have never just jumped into on my own. This is not a book that I would have just randomly just picked up. Although I did kind of randomly read it, honestly, because I was just looking for something to bring me out of a book slump, and I just grabbed it and read it on Kindle. Either way it goes, it was a short little novella. I believe it was all of 80 pages, possibly shorter. I don't remember, but it was really good, y'all. I've never read a book like this ever before in my life. The entire book was written in letter style, like somebody writing you a letter and mailing it to you. Every single passage of this book was letter style. Never read anything like this before. There's two married couples, right? I'm gonna try to explain this the best way I can. There's two married couples. The wife in this marriage starts to write the husband in this marriage to let him know that her husband is sleeping with his wife. And I'm gonna leave it right there. It was a very, very interesting book. The way that it flowed, the way that it was written, her writing style, chef kiss, okay? It was definitely a page turner, and it was worth the little download that I put on my Kindle that day. So if you haven't got into this, definitely give it a try. If you want something quick, a little palate cleanser, if you will, I definitely loved it. It surprised the hell out of me because I was not expecting it to eat down the way that it did, and I was not expecting me to love it the way that I did. Chef kiss. My favorite new author. So once again, I am going to mention two of the same authors that I've mentioned before because granted, I just read them this year. So, okay, right? The first one, of course, for me is going to be Rebecca Yarros because again, I've never read anything by Rebecca before this year, right? I didn't know anything about Rebecca Yarros, okay? I had no clue. Me and two of my book buddies, the same two girls that I went to Denver with, we just had all decided to kind of jump into this fantasy genre just to kind of see what it was about. I'm more of a dark romance girly. Well, me and one of the Brittany's, the other Brittany is more of a fantasy buff. So, you know, we just jumped in and was like, hey, we're going to do it. And it turned out that I just really, really enjoyed, you know, her writing style. Now, granted, I might read something else by Rebecca and I probably would hate it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I only love her due to this particular series. It's possible. But either way it goes, she's definitely one of my favorite authors this year so far. The second one, of course, is M.L. Burns. Not only is she an indie author, but I enjoy her writing style too. Granted, she is more versed in like third person writing. but her mind, like, what I love about M.L. Burns is she reminds me a lot of Chantel Tesser, right? So if you read a lot of Chantel's books, you know there's always something. There's always something that's getting ready to happen, something that's getting ready to occur, something that's getting ready to take off. You're at the top of this roller coaster ride, and you know when you get ready to go down, you're going to be plummeting damn near to your death, right? This is how ML writes her books as well. Every time you think you know something, you don't. Every time you think you figured something out, you didn't. Every time you think you may love a character, you might not. Every time you think you might hate a character, you might end up loving them. It's like whatever she puts in her book, you can't figure it out. And for me, I love that because I'm one of those people that I can figure out a book before I even get to the end. I can figure out the plot of a book and figure out what's going to happen by the time I finish the first 3 chapters. You feel me? So for me, I love that about her writing style is it constantly keeps me guessing. I, for the life of me, cannot figure out what the hell is getting ready to take place in her books. And I love that for me. Next question. My newest fictional crush. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm going to be talking about the same book because I've read a lot of books so far this year, but I haven't read a whole lot of books that stick to me to where it's worth me talking about constantly or worth me putting in the video. I'll just say it like that. But the character that I love, Jace, okay? The reason why I love Jace so much is he is the walking definition of unconditional love. I love Jace, okay? The way that he treats Azahara, the way that he loves on Azahara, the way that he gives her space, the way that he pours into her, the way that he does not care whether he has to be the boyfriend, the friend, the hero, it doesn't matter. As long as he knows that Azahara is happy and he's doing whatever he needs to do to be a part of that happiness, he's going to do it, even if it includes him not being in her life. The way that Jace is with Azahara is just, I don't even have the words, y'all. I'm just thinking about a particular chapter in this book that literally had me tearing up, okay? Like, this is love. It's just the best way that I can put it. It's a lot of trauma in this book, like I said, but this right here, Jace, this is love, all right? Definitely my most favorite newfound fictional boyfriend of 2024. Hands fucking down. Okay, a book that made me cry so far this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not read one that has actually made me drop thug tears yet. Not gonna lie. Like I said, with The Dragon's Keeper, my eyes did water. I got very emotional, but I didn't necessarily cry. The last time I cried was reading Dash by Chantel Tessier. And when I say cry, baby, I was boo-hooing from the time that shit took place to the end of the book. I went to sleep crying. I woke up crying. That book had me in fucking shambles, okay? That was the very first book that I have read, and I have been reading since probably 4 or 5 years old, all right? That's the first book that actually had me snotting, all right? So if I'm comparing a book to that actually made me cry, there is none. I haven't come across another one that's had me boo-hoo crying like Dash did. So I might be speaking too soon, y'all. I might find one that's gonna make me snot by the end of the year. And if I do, you'll know about it. But right now, there is not one yet. I haven't found one yet this year. If you know any, if you want to try to test my tear ducts, if y'all want to try to test my tear ducts, you could drop some books in the comments that you think will have me in here sniffling like crazy. But yeah, I don't have one yet, y'all. We gonna see. We gonna see what the rest of 2024 is gonna bring. A book that made me happy in 2024. You see I'm already smiling, y'all. I actually have 2, all right? And I'm not going to say too much about these books because I am doing a separate vlog about these books, all right? I actually read these for my TBR for Pride Month. We're still in Pride Month, so not going to go into detail about them yet, but I did already read them. I did already finish them. I did enjoy them, and I ate them up, okay? So the first book that made me super duper fucking happy is Outdrawn. Look at this cover. For one, she eats the fuck down. But this book had me so giddy, y'all. It had me so giddy. I'm not going to really tell you why. If you want to know why, you'll catch the next video. But this book made me so stinking happy, all right? The second book that made me happy like that was Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding. I actually read, did I read this on Kindle? No, I listened to this on Audible. It wasn't available on Kindle, all right? I love this book so much that I want the physical copy now, okay? This book also made me super fucking giddy. Not gonna go into detail, y'all. Y'all will catch all of that in the next video, but just know it made my heart smile. All right, the next question is, what is the most beautiful book that you bought so far this year? All right, so I actually have a few, not a whole lot, but just a few. The first book that I bought, and I hate this Target as sticker on the cover, but it is what it is. But this is Children of Virtue and Vengeance, because look at this cover, y'all. Look at this shit. That is beautiful, all right? And then, of course, you see, look at that. Oh, it is gorgeous. I love this. I have not read this yet. I have not read the first one, Children in Bone, yet. The third one is getting ready to drop soon, I think. It might have dropped yesterday, if I remember. I think it was June 25th. I'll see. I'll check Amazon. But either way it goes, I haven't read these yet just due to I want the whole series before I start it. But this cover, beautiful. The next one, I actually got this at Readers Take Denver. This is either the third or the fourth book in the series, but this is the book that made me buy the whole series. This is King of the Reapers by Mariah Kingsley, and it's whichever number in the Reaper series. Look at this cover, y'all. Look at this cover. You can't tell me that shit don't eat down, okay? This cover eats. This cover eats. All right, the next two books I also got at Readers Take Denver, and I've never read anything by this particular author either, but this is the Savagely Depraved series. I think she said it's going to be either 4 or 5 books in this series, not sure, but I got the first 2 because this is what was available. The first one is Dark Devils, and the next one is Family Ties. I believe this is a novella, and then this is, you know, one of the actual books in the series. But the reason why I love this so much, not only because it's like super blacked out, but the pages, y'all. It's black pages all the way through. All the way through. Look at this. Black pages. But not only that, look at the background. You can clearly tell this is dark romance. I don't think this one, oh yes it does. Look, I'm gonna show this fast because I don't want YouTube to flag me, but boom. Eats down. It's beautiful. And then the last book that I bought, I haven't read this one yet either, but the cover itself I just loved, is Gothicana. All right, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this. Some people really love it. Some people was just like, it was a waste of time. I'm gonna find out for myself, okay? I'm not a follower. I want to know myself. So I bought this one because it eats, and then of course because it has the fucking purple sprayed edges. Look at that. It's beautiful. And then inside, it eats. It eats. These are definitely the most beautiful books that I bought so far this year. Love it. The next question on the list is, what books do I want to read by the end of the year? So before the end of the year is out, what books do I actually want to get into? There's actually a lot. I do have a TBR of like most anticipated books and or series that I just have to get into. Am I going to get into all of them before the year is out? Probably fucking not. However, I'm just going to go with 2 series right now that I know that I definitely want to try to nosedive into before this year ends, okay? The first one, of course, is going to be the Ravenhood series. I have the other 2 books. They're still packaged up. Somebody sent me those 2 books as a gift. And then I got this one, I believe, for Mother's Day. So this is the 3rd book in the series. And then I believe there's one... Is it One Rainy Day? I believe that's a novella, so I have to get that one too. So I am going to do a vlog on this particular series whenever I do get around to it, because this series is a highly anticipated one, and this is also one that somebody said is going to make me boohoo cry. So we may have found the series that might have me snotting before the end of the year is out. We'll see. So yeah, this is definitely one of them. The second one is going to be, if I can get them, if I can pick them all up, y'all. Okay, we'll just do this. It's going to be The Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. So this is Corrupt, Hideaway, Kill Switch, and Nightfall. And then I do also have the 2 novellas as well, Conclave and Fire Night. Unfortunately, they're not the same covers. This is the older covers, which I kind of like better. I'm not going to lie to you. However, all of these have bonus material in it. So it's new chapters and things like that. That's why I went with this, because I want whatever extra is added into it. I don't know how I'm going to put this on my shelf just yet, but I'll figure it out when it's time. But yeah, this is definitely another series that I have to get into before the end of the year is out. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. My camera died, so the angle might be off and everything now, but whatever, we're gonna make it work. And the next couple of questions we're gonna fly through because I don't really have a lot to say about it. And which books did I DNF this year? I only DNF'd 1 book this year so far, and I actually DNF'd it this month. So I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'll talk about it in my next video when I do my monthly wrap up for the month of June. All right, what was my worst book this year, or what was a book that disappointed me the most this year? I don't have one yet. I have had some books that were kind of like, you know, not all that. You know, I have had some books that didn't really keep my interest for long, or it took me a while to get into it, but I wouldn't really call them the worst books ever. And I haven't read any like super duper highly anticipated books just yet to where I was just flat out disappointed. So kind of happy about that. And then the last question here is, am I going to change my reading goal for this year? The answer is absolutely the fuck not. I set a reading goal for 80 books, and I've already read, I believe, 44 maybe. No, it's more than that. It's 80 books. I think I'm 9 books ahead. Y'all, don't make me lie. I have 80 books. My goal for this year is 80 books, and I am currently 8 books ahead of schedule. So 48. Wow. Math, huh? I guess that's why I like to read. So yeah, I'm definitely not changing my reading goal for this year. As y'all know, I am a stay-at-home mama for 1. I do run a business for 2. And I got ADHD too. So like, I'm gonna just keep it real light, because it's not even, I get lucky if I'm even able to get to 80 books by the end of the year, you know? So I'm gonna just keep it where it's at. I am ahead of schedule, love that for me, but anything can happen between now and the end of the year. So I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself. I'm going to be happy with whatever it is I read, and I'm not gonna beat myself up about it, because it's supposed to be fun, right? Reading is fun for some of us. If you enjoy content like this and you would want more content like this in the future, please continue to like and subscribe so I know that you guys are interested. Also, drop down in the comments more things that you would like to see in regards to books or anything else, all right? Y'all know I do just about everything on this channel, so I'm open to almost anything. But all right, y'all, that is all I got. I hope y'all enjoyed this mid-year wrap-up. I will catch y'all in the next video, okay? Love y'all. Happy reading.